Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of someone knowing the words, but your mouth stayed silent? You rehearse sentences in your head, but when it's time to speak, your heart starts racing, your accent scares you, and suddenly you feel small. This is not about grammar. This is not about vocabulary. This is about confidence. And today's episode is for every student, every immigrant who feels invisible just because their English is not perfect. Stay with us, because by the end of this episode, you won't feel afraid to speak anymore. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English Adventures podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Zara. We're really glad you're here with us today.
Zara, today's topic is very close to my heart.
And I'm Zara. Same here, Daniyal, because this is something almost every student and immigrant experiences, but very few people talk about it honestly.
Let's start with something important. If you're listening to this and you feel shy speaking English, there is nothing wrong with you.
Yes, and this is something we need to say clearly. You are not weak. You are not slow. You are not bad at English.
Most people think confidence comes after perfect English, but that's not true. Confidence comes from permission to speak imperfectly.
Let me share something personal. When I first had to speak English in public, my mind was full of thoughts like, what if they laugh? What if I make a mistake? What if my accent sounds strange? And you know what happened? I said nothing.
Silence becomes a habit, and that silence slowly starts hurting your confidence. You stop raising your hand in class. You stop asking questions. You stop being yourself.
And the worst part? People assume you don't know anything, when in reality, you know a lot. You're just scared to speak.
This fear is very common among students in the USA, especially international students, because suddenly you're not just learning English, you're surviving with English.
If this feels relatable to you, take a second to like this episode. It helps us reach more students who feel the same way.
And if you want more calm, real, survival English conversations like this, make sure you're subscribed. We're building this space for you. Here's something nobody tells you. Americans don't expect perfect English. They expect effort and clarity.
Yes, in fact, most native speakers respect people who try. What makes situations awkward is not bad English, it's silence.
Silence makes people uncomfortable, but effort creates connection. Even broken English, spoken with confidence, is powerful.
That's why in this podcast, we don't teach you complicated grammar rules. We teach you real-life English, English that helps you speak, not impress.
So, Zara, in part 1, we talked about the excitement, the dreams, and the moment people land in the U.S. But now, let's talk about what happens after the excitement fades.
Yes, this is the part that hurts quietly, because many students and immigrants tell me the same thing. I'm surrounded by people, but I feel completely alone. And the reason is not money, it's not education, it's communication.
Exactly. People think English is about vocabulary, but real-life English is about confidence under pressure. You know what I noticed? Most students already know basic English, but they freeze when a professor asks a sudden question, a classmate speaks too fast, or someone laughs and they're not sure why.
And this freeze moment is dangerous, because when you don't speak, people assume you don't understand, and slowly you start believing it too.
Let's give a real example. Imagine this. You're in class. The professor asks, "Can you explain your point again?" Your heart starts racing. You know the idea, but English disappears.
And this is where students make a mistake. They either stay silent, say sorry again and again, or laugh nervously. But there is a better survival response. Instead of panicking, you can say calmly, "Let me explain it in a simple way." This one sentence changes everything. It buys you time, it shows confidence, and most importantly, it shows control.
This is what we call survival English. Not fancy, not perfect, but effective.
I remember a student who told me, "I stopped raising my hand in class because I was afraid of my accent." That broke my heart, because your accent is not a weakness. Silence is.
And let me say this clearly to everyone listening. People in the USA do not expect perfect English. They expect effort and clarity. Confidence matters more than pronunciation.
If this sounds like something you've experienced, you're not alone. Just take a second and think, how many times did you stay quiet, even though you had something important to say?
And if this conversation feels real to you, make sure you stay with us, because in the next part, we're going to talk about how to sound confident even when your English is not perfect.
We'll share what to say when you don't understand, how to slow down conversations politely, and how to stop apologizing for your English. These small changes can completely change your student life.
By the way, if you're finding value here, just quietly support us by liking this episode. It helps this podcast reach students who really need it.
Remember this: you didn't come this far to stay silent. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your English is already enough to start.
Take a deep breath. Stay with us. You know, Zara, there's a moment every immigrant remembers. Not the day they arrived, not the airport, but the day they finally spoke without fear.
Yes, that moment when you stop translating in your head and you start speaking from your heart, even if the English is not perfect.
For a long time, silence feels safe. You think, if I don't speak, I won't make mistakes. But silence has a cost. People don't know you. Your ideas stay inside. Your confidence slowly disappears.
And the truth is, Americans don't expect perfect English. They expect honest effort. Sometimes broken English sounds more real than perfect silence.
So if you're listening right now, here's something practical. Next time you're confused, speak. Next time you're scared, speak slowly. Next time you make a mistake, smile and continue. That's survival English.
And remember, confidence is not about accent. Confidence is about clarity, clear intention, clear effort, clear respect.
By the way, if this conversation feels like your own story, if you feel understood for the first time, then maybe this channel is for you.
You don't need to subscribe for us. Subscribe for your future self, the one who speaks without fear.